Hey, welcome to another edition of EDTalk. This is a first in many ways because this is the first time we're all together. So usually everyone's on video, we've all seen the little Matrix and Brady Bunch type thing, but we're actually all together. We're sitting in our living room in Dallas, Texas. And so, as you know, our first edition of EDTalks had my 3 sons. And they're only bested by my daughter.
Yes.
So they're going to put my sons to shame. So because they're so fun to be with, and I think you're really enjoying. So we're going to talk about how other industries are leveraging digital and what we might learn from those other industries. So to get us started, let me introduce 2 of my daughters. We'll start with you, Bonnie. Bonnie, welcome to EDTalks.
Hello, Ed, aka Dad.
And tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Bonnie Smith, and I am a wardrobe stylist, have been for 18 years, and I'm also the owner of Shop with Bonnie Agency, which is based here in Dallas, Fort Worth, and serving clients all over the country right now.
Yeah, it's so cool. So you actually get to travel on location all around the country, maybe the world, and meet amazing people. We can't say who they are, but you get to meet amazing people and
really incredible clients.
Help them with their fashion,
Yes, it's amazing. So the agency provides different wardrobe services that help people bring together their personality into their wardrobes, public figures, and it's a done-for-you bespoke service.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. I know what people watching in my audience are probably saying, Ed, how come you don't take advantage of this?
You do.
Actually, I do.
You do.
So whenever I do get compliments, it's actually Bonnie who's dressed me. So I want to introduce Alondra as well. Alondra, share a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Flores, and I am a content creator, or as people may know it as an influencer. I've been doing it full time for about 4 years now, and yeah, I'm really grateful for
It's
it.
amazing.
It's so
amazing.
much fun.
It's amazing.
It's so hard to say it out loud too, because it feels like such a luxury job.
Yeah, it's really one of the new, it's just part of being digital native. It's one of those new created jobs, that's just happened in the last few years. And it's pretty cool. So our family's pretty diverse, as you can tell, because when we talked with my sons, they were finance and video and music. And now we've got fashion, and we've got influencing, and my other daughters are into aesthetics and also healthcare. So it's pretty cool.
Pretty
We
diverse.
hit all the
Yeah, we're full circle. So yeah, let's dive in a little bit and find out from your industries, how you might leverage digital. So Bonnie, why don't we start with you? How do you use technology in the things that you do?
Well, there's a lot of technology. Thank you to the iPhone for making it very easy to communicate with clients. I would say my agency is very personal, so we carry on a lot in direct messages, emails, Zoom calls. There's a lot of texting, a lot of FaceTime going on, so we have that constant line of communication open. So outside of that, there are a million things that we've innovated since the quarantine. Things like virtual showrooms. So currently I work with 24 different brands that provide products for my clients, and they're all over the world. European clients, European brands. So I use technology to go into those showrooms, view their product, download different size guides so that I can get correct measurements for my clients. So I think that a lot of that is helps the business, as well as really just e-commerce in general, because I can purchase things and ship things, and shipping has become very easy these days with expedited services, happy returns, different apps like Shopify, and things that make purchasing very simple.
Yeah.
So I think that's just to name a few.
Yeah, that's a lot. Your whole business is really wrapped around digital. And Alondra, I think it's somewhat similar for you as well.
Yeah, I mean, my entire job description is.
But it's not digital would be easier to answer.
Yeah, no, everything is digital. It really is. Like, I grew up in perfect kind of environment to, it's like really the digital age right now. My entire job is through online, like whether it be communication with different brands, reaching out, what I post and what I share, everything is through social networking, everything. I don't think besides the few aspects of shooting and taking pictures on my own and creating that content, everything else kind of relies on networking, social media.
Yeah, and even the content creation, right, is all digital. You do all this stuff, because I see you at work, like, after a shoot or something, I see you.
Like you did today.
Yes, editing. I think probably about 90% of everything that I do is digital.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting, and I want to sort of then ask the next question of each of you, and how do you leverage, how would you go into healthcare? Because you know a little bit about healthcare, because obviously me, Mom, Dr. Simran Marks, and then your own experiences in healthcare. So, I want to just sort of ask that question and pivot a little bit. If you were in healthcare with all that digital background, we'll start with you, Bonnie. What might you bring with you into healthcare that you've learned in your current role?
I feel like personal experiences I've had with healthcare have been very generic, I guess is the word. Very generic. I feel like walking into a waiting room and being treated as a patient, I feel like everyone has kind of ordered the same things, and I feel like that time you're spending with your clinician is like very just transactional is a great word. So I know that there's a certain level of bedside manner, and I know that there's obviously time is of the essence in many of their days, but something that I feel strongly about in my agency is the experience that we're providing the individual to continue feeling comfortable coming to the office. I want every client that I work with to feel really comfortable with being vulnerable to me about stresses they're having and difficulties, and I sometimes feel there's a lack of that. So maybe expanding the experience, somehow like open communication that could go on between you and your doctor's office, so that maybe right after you finish an appointment you could communicate the follow-up very easily and have like an open rapport with them. Because there's just such a small amount of time that you get in an office, and a lot of it has to do with the before and after. So maybe some way to kind of expand that.
Yeah, I like that a lot. We talk a lot about that quite a bit right now in healthcare, is the experience. How do you personalize, even when there's a high volume, still making each person feel like, hey, you care about me. I'm special, and you really intent and focused on me, even though I know that there's 100 other people, waiting. But hopefully they can all have that same experience, and that's what you give your clients. All of them have that individualized experience. Alana, what about you? So if you were suddenly and I know at one point in your life, you were going to be on the clinician side.
I was in school to become a neurologist, and that kind of did not work out, but for the better.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think that because my entire career is online, kind of finding a way to make that possible for healthcare. I guess like maybe in the situations it could be as easy as having access to forms, like sign-up forms when you walk into a clinic, having that online, or even in the future, the medical records or your own medical records, having access to that digitally would make such a difference. I feel like even in the overall experience, when you walk into an office, you don't have to wait in line and it feel burdensome to the people that are there. And so I feel like even that will help with the experience just overall.
Absolutely. Yeah, because you're coming into it, as we talked about earlier, you're a full digital native.
Yeah.
And I think, Bonnie, you probably are too. But you're full digital native, so you would already better. So when you run into these situations, it's got to be like, wow, I'm taken back to the time of my parents. Like, wow.
It's
And
crazy.
some offices are really advanced. It's kind of interesting because some doctors' offices in clinical settings, you see that there's a lot of digital transformation done, and it's almost so effortless
Right.
to arrive and, oh, we've already got your records and your next schedule is this, and you can log on to book your next appointment. There is that, and then there's a lack of that other places.
Right. Yeah, it's not super consistent. Or like Alondra, the example you were giving is like 90% of it might be digital, and so you're like, oh, this is it's a great experience, it's personalized. But then there's that 10%. It's like, wow, I gotta fill that out manually. Well, that really wraps up this edition of EDTalk, and I'm so glad to have you join me. You guys are so awesome.
Thank you for
Love you
having
so
me.
much.
Thank you.
You're great. I'm super blessed, as you can tell from my kids, now adults, who definitely give Simran and I much more than we give to them. But thanks for being with us, and I hope you learned a little bit about things that we could pull over from these other industries that help us in healthcare. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank